Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Prime Minister breaks his silence on the death of Dalit scholar Rohith Vemula, saying that he shares the pain of Rohith's parents. But will this be enough? Will the BJP's outreach to Dalits work? Well, the Prime Minister said that he felt pained by Rohith's suicide today while speaking at the convocation of the B.R. Ambedkar University in Lucknow. His brief remarks have come after a great deal of discomfort within the BJP over the party's handling of the situation. Rohith Vemula took his own life after a row with an ABVP student that led to his expulsion from the Hyderabad University. But in a glimpse of just how great the challenge could be for the BJP ahead of crucial elections, the Prime Minister's speech today was disrupted by protesting students who were then taken out of the hall.
The Hyderabad scholar's suicide resonating in Lucknow for the BJP. The moment Prime Minister Modi stood up to address scholars at a convocation. The protester was whisked away, but the incident indicates that the NDA government can't just wish away the fallout of the suicide. The Prime Minister tried damage control.
कारण अपनी जगह पर होंगे, राजनीति अपनी जगह पर होगा, लेकिन सच्चाई यह है कि मां ने एक लाल खोया। इसकी पीड़ा मैं भली भांति महसूस करता हूं।
Before his departure to Lucknow, Prime Minister had also ordered more action in the case. HRD Minister Smriti Irani ordered a judicial probe. She spoke to the family of the Hyderabad scholar.
The Prime Minister broke his silence. He chose the moment at a convocation attended by scholars at Lucknow's Ambedkar University, indicating the political worry his government is battling over the suicide. But the question being asked is, was it enough? Enough to undo the negative perception the incident can create for the government that can alter political plans and also cause political damage.
At the Ambedkar University in Lucknow, scholars who came for the function hinted that Prime Minister's outreach was not enough.
यानी कि ऐसा ना होता पहले से, यानी कि खत्म कर दिया जाता और क्या
वो देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, हम चाहते हैं वो न्याय करें। वो सशक्त प्रधानमंत्री हैं, इसलिए उनसे हम हमारी मतलब विनती है कि वो न्याय करें।
Even he is really concerned about our movement, and he is really concerned about Rohith's mother. He should intervene and remove Bandaru Dattatreya from his post. He should remove Smriti Irani from the post. He should remove our Vice Chancellor from the post.
The Prime Minister's moves clearly aimed at sending out a signal to Dalit voters in 5 poll-bound states and Uttar Pradesh next year. The quest for the crucial vote bank bringing him to Lucknow for a convocation at Ambedkar University, named after the country's biggest Dalit icon. The sharp Dalit focus of his visit indicates how badly the BJP needs Dalits in Uttar Pradesh. But now the task for both the Prime Minister and the BJP is tougher. It has to woo the Dalits and remove the negative perception. In Lucknow, Rahul Srivastava for Indie TV.
So the question is whether the BJP's Dalit outreach is going to work. Nalin Kohli of the BJP is here in the studio with us. Ajoy Bose is back with us tonight. And we have Mr. Sudhindra Baroria of the BSP joining us this evening. Ajoy Bose, let me ask you first. What did you make of the Prime Minister's comments today? He's often been criticized for not speaking out on important issues, but today he has spoken.
Well, to be fair, a lot of BJP leaders, even before the Prime Minister, actually expressed their anguish at the human tragedy. But I'm afraid, Nidhi, that this can't be just seen as a human tragedy. There have been attempts by the BJP to make it as, I think Smriti Irani herself said, don't make it a Dalit versus non-Dalit issue. The fact of the matter, however, is that these two people, the local MLA and the MP, who's also a central minister, Dattatreya, have been booked under the SC/ST Act, dealing with the harassment of Dalits. Also, let's be very clear, this is a political clash which led to this suicide. The Ambedkar group is a student political body. So is the ABVP. They were jostling for space in that university. This is very customary, really, to have this in various universities. It's been going on for years.
The Prime Minister should have said something else? Are you suggesting?
No, it's not just the Prime Minister. Because I think expecting the Prime Minister to do everything, the Prime Minister needs what the Prime Minister needs to do is how a central ministry got involved in what should have been a very minor. It's not that there's been major violence in Hyderabad University. This is a minor clash between two student groups affiliated to different type of ideologies. Now, there is no harm in that. All I'm trying to say, the central ministry has got involved and very openly, and this has led to this.
So you think the Prime Minister needs to make them accountable?
Indeed. You know, that is where the Prime Minister comes, not to express his anguish, not to make it, it's not a question of this thing. It's a question that we cannot allow
Because if
this.
he didn't express his anguish, we would criticize him.
Of
for
course,
not
he should express his anguish, which is good. All I'm saying is that this will not satisfy the agitating Dalit students in Hyderabad University, which
Nalin,
they have said so.
I'll take that to you, Nalin, because you know students are agitated right now on campus there, and you can see that in their reaction even after the PM spoke.
Okay, there are 3-4 aspects I'd like to speak about. One is, the Prime Minister has spoken. It's not that he doesn't speak. I think what is happening is that people expect him to speak instantly, like any one of us as a spokesperson would speak, and that's not the correct thing. He chooses his occasions. If there was issues in the last year that would come up on intolerance, he had repeatedly spoken, but he obviously uses occasions to use it, and he has done it repeatedly. And that message has been consistent of the government. Now let's come to the question of action. A judicial inquiry or a commission is going to be set up on this. It's a movement ahead. We can't be reactionary. Anything that's happened, irrespective, we need to do it in a correct manner. And whatever, if there's any culpability anywhere, if there's any kind of omission commission, that has to be taken care of. But it can't be a reactionary way, because if we start just reacting to emotions and then put aside everything, we are going to see a situation that will again start in another way aggravating with another set of people.
But Nalin, do you acknowledge that within the BJP there has been a degree of discomfort, particularly by the Dalit MPs within the party, about the way this episode has been handled? And look, they're all speaking on record. They've not hidden their discomfort, you know, publicly.
Look, I think nobody's happy about the fact, because at the end of the day, as the Prime Minister's put it, others have spoken also, that it's the death of a young student. And I think his letter also, which he put out as a suicide note, it brings out a year's aspirations being quashed and ending. So, I mean, it's not a happy situation. What has happened in the university, Mr. Bandaru Dattatreya, that explanation has also come out. Hanumanta Rao, his explanations are coming out. Now, we need to also perhaps look afresh and see whether we need to have VIP references or set it up in a narrower, in a parameter which is more specific. But then, people's representatives have another issue. If you do not, for example, if an incident happens, they visit, then it's said, why are they visiting there? If they don't visit, the question is asked, why aren't they visiting there?
No.
So there are counter viewpoints to everything.
There are party MPs like Sanjay Paswan, Sunil Gaikwad and others who've said publicly that they didn't like the way the protests were branded as anti-national, that the Ambedkar Students' Union was branded as an anti-national. And, you know, they are unhappy with the parties and the government's handling of the issue.
Well, I don't know.
Is the party listening
I
to their
would look
feedback?
at it different. No, I wouldn't look at it like that. At the end of the day, I say very clearly, it has to be based on facts. It can't be based on emotions. And second is, at least in my experience...
So are your MPs being emotional?
No, it is possible also. It's not. They are entitled to put their view across. They, after all, might be also speaking from the fact that they belong to backward communities or they are Dalits themselves. So they have a viewpoint. But then, as I've always said, end of the day, we need to look at it based on facts. And we need to get to the bottom of it based on merits.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Baroria this question first. Mr. Baroria, there is an important point, an important forward movement, as Nalin put it, that has taken place today, with the HRD ministry saying it's setting up a judicial commission that will submit its report within 3 months. Also, they've announced a number of steps saying that they're going to launch a program for sensitizing administrators in academic institutions about the problems that are faced by disadvantaged students, that there'll be a mechanism that will be set up by the ministry for taking quick action on grievances from these students. And that actually, you know, does sound like they're making an attempt, you know, to try and look at this more holistically. Would you at least welcome these steps?
Well, let me put this whole issue in perspective, and I think part of it Mr. Nalin Kohli himself has answered. He says that Mr. Sanjay Paswan or Gaikwad are speaking out. This outcry from within the BJP is because they belong to the scheduled caste and backward communities. So that means that there is lack of empathy in the rest of the party, in the rest of the BJP, which I can understand. There is no empathy of the other sections, number one. Number two, this national outcry is also because, and more particularly from the Dalits, is because these people feel that they are getting marginalized not only in economic life but in social and educational life, there was a call given by the Prime Minister that he is going to work for the aspirational India. Now there is an aspirational desire of these young people for a better life, for a new India with egalitarian social order, but that is what is lacking and missing in academic life as well as in life outside, and therefore these people are raising their voices. And it is for this reason that I feel that these words are not enough of the Prime Minister. They want that these words should be translated into deeds. I think the minimum the student and youth community of the Dalits and of the rest of the students in this country expect that the HRD minister must go, Dattaraya must go from the cabinet, because many ministers have been saying earlier. VK Singh, what did he say? That if a stone is pelted on a dog, he is trying to compare with the killing of a Dalit in Haryana. So therefore this is a routine thing which is happening from the BJP ministers, and that is why today there is a national outcry against this attitude, lack of empathy, intolerance towards the marginalized sections of Indian society.